Hi, my name is Georgia Foster, and I'm known as the alcohol reduction expert. That's right, I'm about helping people to drink less alcohol, not quitting. And as you can hear by my voice, I'm an Aussie and I like my Chardonnay. So I feel very passionate about helping people understand and explore ways about how to drink less without having to quit completely. What I want to share with you today is a question that is asked of me a lot. And that is, Georgia, should I tell my family or my friends that I want to drink less? I'm worried about my drinking and I really want to change my relationship with alcohol. I'm going to answer 3 ways. The first top tip I have for you is choose your audience. And what I mean by that is not everybody is going to be on the same page as you when it comes to drinking alcohol. For example, your bestie may sit on 1 glass of wine all night and you think, wow, don't know how she does that. So she would definitely not be the person to ask advice of or ask support of. Not because she doesn't care, but because she doesn't get the drinking thing. Okay, the people who get it are the people who are very much aligned with supporting you and understanding that you have a different way of thinking and dealing with your life. Whereas your bestie, if she sits on 1 glass of wine a night, she probably won't understand that there's a lot of emotions involved and there's a lot of habit involved. And sometimes it takes some effort on your part to make that change, of course. And people who don't get the alcohol thing is they're really not the best people to serve you with the best advice. However, if there's somebody in your life who you know is going to be completely unconditional, completely understand that this is something that is important to you and give you that very much unbiased opinions about things, then please go ahead. The other thing is that if you do tell people about your drinking and they don't get it, it's a bit like somebody who goes on a diet and they say to the office, everybody in the office, right, no cookies for me today, thank you. And then all of a sudden that cookie creeps into the mouth and people go, oh, I thought you were on a diet. The same thing happens with drinking. People assume for some reason, if you tell somebody you're worried about your drinking, that even if you have 1 glass more than you normally do, or perhaps you normally, you're sitting on that glass of wine and you want to have that second one, they go, hang on a minute, I thought you said you wanted to work on your alcohol consumption. And it can be quite irritating when that happens. Because people, they really do want to look after you. Most people have your best interests. But sometimes their version of how to drink less may be very different to yours. And I often say the goal is to get your consumption down to about half of where it is right now. Don't try and go from 1 bottle of wine down to 1 glass of wine, right? Because that can cause more anxiety. And because when somebody knows that you want to look at your alcohol issues, you can feel observed sometimes. And this can lead on to some sneaky drinking. I call it the cupboard drinking. And it doesn't mean that you belong in AA. It doesn't mean that you belong on a park bench. It just means that there's anxiety going on that needs to be dealt with. I have a slogan, a motto. It's the thinking before the drinking that's the problem. And that's what I want you to really understand. It's what's happening before that. And so often, exactly my point, you tell people that you are wanting to drink less and they start watching you and observing you, and it just makes you feel so anxious and vulnerable that you may want to go and sneaky drink, okay? Now the second one is, don't tell people that you're worried about your drinking until you've figured out how you want to do it. As I said, there are people who will be supportive, but a lot of people won't be, okay? Because it's a very private journey, one that a lot of people just don't get. So choose who you want to talk to about it. And if you don't have anybody who you feel that is aligned to your understanding, I want you to know that this is an opportunity for you to really sit back and think about the journey you want to go on. If you want to drink less, I want you to really think about how you want to do that. I want you to really think about how best you can serve yourself. Because underpinning the anxiety about drinking less, there is always a question, can I do it? And if people are observing you, it makes you feel a little bit like maybe I can't. And if they're watching you with that eagle eye, thinking, hang on a minute, what's going on there? Maybe you shouldn't have that third glass of wine or that fourth beer, right? I want you to feel as protected as possible. And the third point I want to make is that you need to think about how you want to do this. Think about the strategies that you want to put in place. My suggestion would be to start drinking later, to start to hydrate your mind with more confidence. Start to implement some coping strategies that make you feel better about you that have nothing to do with drinking. Start to think about what is going to serve you best, so that when you do drink around other people, what they see is a healthier, more balanced drinker. Now that does take practice, and that's what I specialize in. I help people to train their mind and body to actually drink in a healthier way. But I want you to really think about the next time that thought comes into your head, oh, I'm worried about my drinking, should I tell somebody? Think about choosing your audience. Think about who will really honor and respect where you're coming from. Number 2, maybe don't say anything to anybody, because you know that you need to keep yourself protected until you can make a decision. And number 3, find a strategy, find a plan, do your research. Discover how to drink in a way that makes you feel good. Because underpinning that issue about drinking will always be a sense of low self-worth. I can't do it, it's not possible. So finding ways to improve your sense of self-worth in your sober world will make a massive difference. And then when you go through your journey, what people will see is a healthier drinker, because you're not drinking because you're anxious or you're feeling shy or you're feeling whatever. Remember that motto that I often say to people is, it's the thinking before the drinking that's the problem. It's what goes into your mind first before what you consume that makes all the difference. So improving your self-esteem will make a massive difference to your relationship with you and with alcohol. I have a great program called the Drink Less BootCamp, and I help people develop strong emotional sensations, beautiful, healthy habits, so that they feel better about themselves in the sober world. And this is what's really important. You are important. So if you like to drink like me, whether it's Chardonnay, whether it's beer, whether it's cocktails, gin and tonics, whatever, I help people discover how to drink less so they can feel better about themselves. If you've got any questions, please let me know. Please subscribe so you can hear more about my work. Thank you.